because everybody seems to be back in their seats and can provide their undivided attention. Cottage, it is Joe Solberg.
Thank you, guys. This is why it's a privilege. Their stories, and when you get to capture these stories, you get to pass these on and save them for posterity. Tonight, I'm going to introduce to you Roby Curberly. She is a resident of Glenville. She grew up in Gil. She graduated from Glenville High School and attended 2 years at Glenville State. Upon marrying, she moved to Baltimore, where her husband worked in a shipyard. And at the urging of her sister, Mrs. Curberly sought a paying job finding work with Montgomery Ward in her home until she retired in 2009. I want you to think about that, 2009, that was... questions, and we might have some time to let some of the citizens ask some questions and to give you time to talk about whatever you'd like to tell us. But I'd like to start with a question for you. I'd like you to tell us a little bit about...
Well, it was a complete change in my life. I lived on a farm, and I had never been to a big city, let alone got a job that I got paid for. But we worked there, and there's many, many, many women working there by the side of the men, doing their same job, and getting paid less for it, of course. But it was quite a change in all of our lives to come from farms like I did into a big city. As a matter of fact, I hadn't been in a big city before. So it was quite an education working there, but I was glad to do my little bit. I worked as a typist. I did not get a big muscle from typing, and women can do during the war. They worked hard, and they'd always been good mothers and good wives, but didn't get paid very much. But after they worked in Martinsville, for those about 3 years maybe, they were laid off eventually in 45, went back to their homes, and the men got jobs, and the women went back to being what they were before, good wives and good mothers with no pay. And all of a sudden they thought, learned something during that war. We learned that we can add something to society. We did what the men did, and we did it just as well. And so some of the women got together. The ones in West Virginia are very active to this day. And it was something good and something that will be down in history that you can read about. Particularly you young men, such a big crowd of good-looking young men here. You'll be our leaders someday, and you can read about the Rosie the Riveter, how they got started, and what we did to help the war effort. So like I say, it was quite a difference, because I had never been in a big city before. When I went to Baltimore and saw all the row houses, and they all just looked alike. And you had to remember your number or you got in the wrong house, which I did sometimes. My first job was at Montgomery and Ward, and I had to ride a trolley. I had never seen one before. So that was quite a feat, getting on and off of it before it ran out from under your feet. And then I quit there and got a job at Pet Boys. And that was in an old building, closer, and I didn't have to ride the trolley. And it was in an old building, and the floor was wood, and it had oil put on it. And so one night, it was my job to close the shop and count the money and be ready for the next day. So I probably was in a big hurry, and I pulled the cash drawer out too far and spilled all the money on the floor. Well, that was quite a job picking that up. And soon after that, I went to Martin's to work and was hired as a typist and was there until 45. And they were laying off everybody, and I was anxious to get home too. So,
I have a few more questions for you.
Okay.
I would like to know, we look back now and we know that the Rosie the Riveters were a tremendous part of history. Did you know at the time that you were making history?
No, no. We were just doing our part in the war effort. And like I say, the women had never worked before, but the country needed us, and so we went and did our part and was proud of it. But no, I didn't think anything of history. As a matter of fact, I was not involved in Rosie the Riveter until just a year ago. I mean, I remembered working in Baltimore, but, you know, didn't mean much. But after I got associated with the organization, it's become quite interesting.
One more question for you. Through what you've experienced, not only as a Rosie the Riveter, but as a person and as a mother and as a wife and as a friend, I'm sure you've acquired some wisdom in your time. Could you share maybe one nugget of wisdom that you would like these young men to know and to think about, something that they can carry with them for years to come?
Well, my father years ago always told all of the children to set a goal for themselves. But they said, aim high and work hard and stick to it.
Thank you. I have something for you. Okay. Are you good on? We're okay on time? What? You okay? Can I do this? Oh, okay. Then never mind. All right, guys. Why don't we give Miss Coverly a round of applause?